Jeremiah Payne to sue Clarksville police over 2023 event. Eli names Bare Britain Audits as mastermind behind assault. Direct D is free at last as he can stream again. Plus, Denver Metro Audits wins GoFundMe race for Sunday with a $5 take. All this and more on today's edition of Auditing Insanity. Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast brought to you by ReallyCoolNews. I'm Jim Finch and I'll be your host for 4 big stories on Direct D, Denver Metro Audits, Jeremiah Payne, and an update on Eli. It's been a crazy couple of days around here as we've had beautiful weather, but no real time as the news is non-stop. So before we make the news and fall over on our own keyboard, let's dive into stories as we ask you to focus on... Denver Metro Audits wins Sunday with $5 take. $5. That's it. $5 to Christopher Denver Metro Audits Cordova by a single donor gave him the GoFundMe win for Sunday to give him an overall win for the Friday to Sunday period with an outstanding win. Cordova's win put him at $130 in new funding for the month, hot on the heels of him announcing that he'll soon be filing a lawsuit against Sheridan, Colorado police as charges against him shining a flashlight at a Sheridan police vehicle have been dropped. The charges stem from an incident last spring where Cordova was driving around with Christopher Direct D. Ruff and Freedom Jim. Ruff used the flashlight to illuminate the police vehicle as the trio passed it in Cordova's vehicle multiple times, resulting in the pullover. Cordova made the decision to take the blame for the incident as Ruff had an outstanding warrant from Arizona and may have been brought in on the charge had he been cited for the incident. Cordova documented his treatment at the hands of the Sheridan police and later threatened a lawsuit. In his latest videos, Cordova said he was expecting a settlement from the city of Sheridan for $100,000 for wrongful arrest and his mistreatment at the hands of Sheridan police officers. In more settlement news, YouTuber Merb returned to his channel after a short break to take on the recent ruling on the motion for summary judgment in the ongoing lawsuit where Jose Chile de Castro is suing the Las Vegas Metro Police Department. Merb said that he hated to disappoint the De Castro haters, but he claimed that since the lawsuit survived the motion for summary judgment, it was more than likely that the LVMPD would opt to settle the case and give De Castro a payout to make it go away rather than continue with the case. The YouTuber said he expected a settlement of around $15,000 as De Castro couldn't prove the remaining claims, but it would be more financially beneficial to the LVMPD to settle without admitting fault than to continue to fund the case. Settlement talks have not been on the table in the lawsuit, and the LVMPD has until early next month to file a second motion for summary judgment to address issues brought by the initial motion. On that note, if you'd like to assure that Denver Metro Audits never, ever again takes the day with such a paltry amount, we'd be remiss if we didn't remind you that you can continue to force the college dropout and known cryptid Jim Finch to keep writing this dreadful column each day by contributing to the GoFundMe run by this very channel. All proceeds go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing new stories to feature here and on ReallyCoolSite.org. Jeremiah Payne announces Clarksville lawsuit. Jeremiah Payne posted a new video to his YouTube channel claiming that a lawsuit has been filed, waiting on a court date update will come as they are available. from an incident that apparently happened last year outside of a McDonald's in Clarksville, Tennessee. Payne, wife Samantha, and their then 5-year-old daughter were protesting on a sidewalk near a busy intersection in Clarksville when they were approached by a Clarksville police officer who said he was just following up on a welfare check request on Payne's daughter, as a motorist saw her running in the grass without a parent around. The officer asked the trio to move off the sidewalk, as staying stationary on a sidewalk was a code violation, as it was considered blocking the sidewalk. Samantha Payne initially agreed to move their wagon and belongings off the sidewalk and onto the grass, explaining that she thought they would have gotten in trouble from McDonald's for sitting in the grass. As Samantha was complying, the officer said that it was just a warning, and he wasn't going to issue a citation for blocking the sidewalk. Jeremiah mumbled under his breath that it was a double sidewalk, and no one had any problems getting around them. The officer questioned what Jeremiah said. Jeremiah repeated it loudly, and the officer asked for Payne to identify himself. The usual situation with Payne then played out, with the officer and Payne exchanging words, Payne refusing to show ID, Payne threatening that the video will go viral, the officer explaining that if he needs to arrest Payne, he'll have to call Child Protection Services, and Payne demanding a sergeant on scene. New to the script was the officer, now backed by several more officers, including one who used a PA system to say, "Be sure to like, share, and subscribe," as he apparently recognized Payne, claiming that Payne didn't have the First Amendment right to ask for a sergeant, as his sergeant appeared on scene. Dismissing his officers, the sergeant politely talked through the situation with the Paynes and said that he was not going to issue Payne a citation for what happened. Payne clearly embellished his side of the story, as the sergeant took his information for the complaint Payne was attempting to file, and the situation ended with the two men shaking hands and briefly discussing Clarksville's pending Riverfest event. As the Riverfest event was retired in 2023 and is no longer being held, along with Payne referring to his daughter as 5 years old, the video is clearly from 2023. Payne did not indicate where the lawsuit had been filed, what he is suing for, or what outcome he is seeking as of press time. Direct D YouTube livestream ability restored. Fans of YouTuber Christopher Direct D Ruff rejoiced early Monday morning as the YouTuber regained the right to livestream on the service following a brief suspension from live streaming this weekend, first showing a replica BB gun on camera and being flagged by YouTube system for displaying an actual weapon. The incident happened late Saturday night as Ruff had streamed on both his main channel and a private secondary channel. The stream was apparently halted, and Ruff received a notice that his ability to stream was suspended, but it was not a content warning or a content strike. Ruff contacted YouTube customer service directly and via Twitter and received various conflicting automated answers, that YouTube had made a final ruling about pulling his streams and that they were also investigating the cause of Ruff's ban from the live streaming. At question is Ruff's display of a replica BB gun, which is designed to look like a real handgun. YouTube's AI bots apparently did not review Ruff's explanation that it was not a real weapon to take the display into context, despite what it looked like, and banned him from live streaming for an indefinite period. YouTube's firearm policies were revised in June of 2024 and seem to concern the selling or production of firearms. Though, in the example of what is not permitted on the service, it states, live streams that feature someone holding or handling a firearm, regardless of whether or not they are firing it. Note, this does not include firearms in video games. For penalties for violating their guidelines, it states, if this is your first time violating our community guidelines, you'll likely get a warning with no penalty to your channel. You will have the chance to take a policy training to allow the warning to expire after 90 days. The 90-day period starts from when the training is completed, not when the warning is issued. However, if the same policy is violated within a 90-day window, the warning will not expire and your channel will be given a strike. If you violate a different policy after completing the training, you will get another warning. BB guns are not mentioned in the guidelines, but a case could be made for a replica BB gun that resembles a real firearm to be a violation of set policy. Ruff did not specify that he received clarification from YouTube as of press time. The YouTuber set his most recent live stream where he addressed the controversy to members-only status. Eli names Bare Britain Audits as mastermind behind assault. YouTuber Eli briefly addressed his physical assault by fellow YouTuber Easy Cameras On during a live stream Sunday night while naming Bare Britain Audits as the mastermind behind the attack on a Monday video released to his channel. On the Sunday night live stream, Eli walked the block in front of his house, pausing to touch his own bloodstains at the point where he was attacked by Easy on Friday night. He showed off scrapes on his knees and knuckles and said that he had a shallow stab wound in his chest, but that he was not meant to die on Friday the 13th. Eli said that he had evidence that Easy was paid off by someone but wouldn't identify that person more than the initials of BBA. His side chat named BBA as Bare Britain Audits, a United Kingdom-based auditor who has been at odds with Eli for some time and had been banned from the People's Podcast TV, which has an association with Eli. Inviting Easy back for a round 2, Eli said that BBA should pay him more next time to take him out, and that Easy was stupid, as he and his friend live-streamed the assault, and that police were now looking for both of them. There was some random talk of Eli's friends looking for Easy, and that Easy should be watching his back as revenge was apparently coming. On Monday's produced video, Bare Britain Audits' appearance on the People's Podcast TV was featured. Bare Britain Audits said that Eli needed to watch his back, and that Eli would soon have a second injury to his eye to match a previous eye injury. Bare Britain Audits then clearly said that he hired Easy Cameras On to assault Alexander McQueen, the name of the account that was moderating the People's Podcast TV. He said that he had paid Easy to camp outside of McQueen's house until he could assault the YouTuber. Bare Britain's Audits was later banned from appearing on the People's Podcast TV channel. Easy and Eli engaged in what some are calling mutual assault, as Easy was screaming outside of Eli's house on Friday night, and Eli chose to engage Easy in a physical battle instead of calling the police to handle the situation. Eli said it was his own stupidity to let Easy up when he had battered him to the ground in a ground and pound and was worried about Easy's breathing. As Eli released Easy, Easy pulled a knife and stabbed Eli several times, essentially leaving him for dead after Eli's wife pulled him back and Easy's friend, who was filming the incident, told him to leave. The battle played out on competing YouTube streams Friday night, and Eli was taken to the hospital to treat his wounds, before checking himself out of the hospital when hospital staff would not let him live stream from the facility. And we're back. What a crazy news day it was today. We'll have a write-up tomorrow for Chili DeCastro's latest live stream that went out right after we went to press. For a chili-free weekend, it sure was filled with events that overshadowed his normal presence here and should show him some concern, as he's been fairly boring lately. Not that we want him to go street fighting or beating up everyone, but his current content is bland, flavorless, and slightly less boring than this very newscast. That's saying something. With that, we wish you a happy evening, and we'll be back tomorrow with another edition of Auditing Insanity. Please stay safe, all.